Morning. I'm Jerry Castagna. I'm correctional counselor for the SB 618 program. Talking about the classification system. The classification process begins from the time that I receive an email from probation department. At that point, I check the inmate's name to make sure whether he has an old CDC number or if he needs a new CDC number. After I complete that, the next step would be to go to county jail, interview the inmate, get all pertinent information that I need in order to process the inmate through the classification system, and also to gain information that I will need at the MDT meetings. The next step is going to the MDT meetings, which at that point, that's pretty much already been covered, I believe. And then after that, once the inmate arrives at R.J. Donovan, he goes through the medical process. I receive the medical chronos between 3 and 7 days. And then at that time, I'm also continuing to work up the case. At that point then, after I'm done working up the case and have made sure the inmate is eligible to stay at RJD, then the case goes to the classification services representative who endorses the inmate here to RJD. And then after that is completed, then the inmate goes to UCC or ICC, which is the Institutional Classification Committee or the Unit Classification Committee. And the file is once again reviewed again to make sure the inmate is eligible to stay here at RJD. And after that, then my part in the classification process is complete. What is the MDT meeting and who are the participants? The MDT meeting is a group of people from probation, from R.J. Donovan. The people from R.J. Donovan are the prison case manager and myself. And what we are doing is getting to know the inmate a little better and make sure that he's a suitable candidate for the SB 618 program. Okay, we discussed his eligibility, and what we're looking for is inmates who, for R.J. Donovan anyway, are level 1 or level 3, and that they are eligible to stay here, that they don't have any major psychiatric problems, or that they don't have any crimes that would cause them to be ineligible for the program, and determining their suitability for R.J. Donovan. Some of the things that I end up seeing is that inmates end up a level 1 inmate who is a psychiatric classification of triple CMS, which we cannot house here at R.J. Donovan. So at that point, once I have found that out, I go to the inmate and I discuss it with him and tell him that he's no longer eligible for the program and the reasons why. And then I tell him he's going to be endorsed to another institution, whatever that may be. And once I tell him, then I email probation department so that everybody can be informed that the inmate is no longer going to be eligible for the program.
What if inmates become uncooperative? Gee, what's the chances of that? Go back on their word. There's another rare opportunity. Or otherwise change their mind and choose to drop out. All we can do is offer the best possible scenarios for them. I mean, as you see, the reaction that Lisa Rodriguez told you about with this inmate just over 30 days. It's pretty well been consistent in that manner. How it turns out, that remains to be seen. We have yet to parole our first inmates. Our first inmates parole come November. Now again, I tell you about the disconnects. All the disconnects that an inmate going through this process and paroling are significant. If you can put yourself into an inmate's shoes. theoretically. You go to county jail, you don't know anybody at county jail. You go to reception center, what do you see in our reception center? Our reception center here is locked down more than it's on open. Then you go to the general population. How long do you wait around for a program? How do we program you? Typically, unit classification committee, it starts off with Jerry and I talking, where are the openings? Welding. You're going to be a welder. I don't want to be a welder. Who asked you? You're a welder. Next. Okay, let's be honest. Is that how it goes? That's pretty much how it goes. We're giving them the opportunity, we're giving them the attention, and we're giving them a prison case manager who is set there to set the inmate on the right path. Are they all going to accept it? Probably not. Are they all going to be success stories? But can we change 70% recidivism? We certainly hope so. You know, and that's what we're banking on. Truth be known, how good do you have to be to improve from 70% recidivism? My point. The offers are out there. Whether, in fact, it's successful or not, it remains to be seen. However, everything we have done for SB 618 has been based on good science and best practices. These are not theoretical things that can work. These have worked in the past. Every single aspect of this bill has worked. The difference we're doing now is coordinating with all the agencies, all the different disciplines. As I told you before, you know, we have classification, paroles, district attorney, the judges, probation, sheriffs, everybody talking to each other, trying to coordinate what's best, what has worked. The fact that we're coordinating this is unique to California. It's not unique in Australia, New Zealand, other Malaysia, where the coordination actually happens throughout.
Jack, can I add something to the voluntariness of it?
There's a voluntary question from the lawyers.
Now,
there you go.
you asked about voluntariness, and I wanted to indicate that it's voluntary from the beginning. We are not putting people in this program. They are signing up for the program. And as we know, like with Prop 36 and PC 1000, just telling somebody you need help doesn't make a difference. Somebody has to want to get help. So when I go and I offer this to the defendants, believe me, I'm getting responses of, no way, I have no trouble. I have guys that are like, yeah, I'm interested. And then I say, you have 18 months aftercare. And they look at me, they're like, well, I don't need any help when I get out. Well, that's what brought you back here, but okay. So we are only taking people that want to do it, and those are people that actually want to make a change. Now, somewhere down the line, they might decide they don't want to make a change because when they're in county jail, things look better than they do later on. But it's voluntary from the very beginning, and that's what we're hoping is going to make it successful, is that it's people who have had enough, who've done the revolving door, or we're getting really young guys who are there the first time. They're like, I don't want to come back to prison again. So we're not getting, your mid-level guys who have gone through once or twice and are like, yeah, this is my way of life. It's people who want to make a difference, who want to change their life. You get one time on SB 618 only. Once, if you go out and you commit a new crime, you get a new prison term, you're done. If you complete SB 618 and you reoffend, no other bite at the apple. One time only. We're going to spend money on this person one time. It's only regarding housing. If they can be housed at RJD, we're not going to exclude them. If they can't be housed at RJD because they just don't have the facilities, then they can't be part of the program. It's limited to the 2 locations.
And understand, that's a good question, and that was why could not a disabled person in a wheelchair not be able to participate. The idea of serving your time in a local prison, San Diego County, R.J. Donovan, is a carrot. Let's be honest. You can serve time and still maintain family ties, which is another thing. Same with CIW, closest female prison to San Diego County. So those aspects, that's a carrot, just being here. The fact that the institution has restrictions on housing, which honestly, you have more programs at this institution than most every other prison in the system. But if they can't be housed here, then we can't deal with them from the aspect of case manager, the paroles, all that. Being able to see the inmate while in fact they're serving the time.
The question was of the number of people that we offer the program to, what number is actually accepting? And you know what, I don't actually have a good number for you. I am keeping statistics, but I've never broken it down percentage-wise. I would say the majority of people that I have spoken to, that we have offered it to, have decided to sign up for it. I think it's a smaller proportion that are rejecting it, but I am keeping very close statistics on who I offer and who rejects. I just don't have the number for you.
And those rejections actually go into our control group because we want to figure out how would it have been if he had not come into the program, he or she had not done the program, and they were offered. So again, that's one of the stats we'll be following. Good question.
Oh, the question is, are we just doing it locally, or is it going to become a statewide program? And our goal is that it does become statewide. Our goal is that within our own office, this just becomes our way of doing business, that all nonviolent offenders are going to be offered an opportunity to go through this program. So the goal is to expand it.
And actually, the Senate bill is to include 3 counties. Okay, Orange County, Contra Costa County, San Francisco County. Can you name another county, Vaughn?